I'm Frank Della, Femina for Hallmark Realtors. Let's talk about inspections. More specifically, what it means to waive an inspection. In an earlier video, I covered what it means to waive an appraisal, so naturally, it was only about time for me to actually dive into what it also means to waive an inspection. Unlike the appraisal process, there are a few more detailed items that you may want to consider keeping an eye on during the attorney review process. This is to ensure that you can walk away in the event the home is in worse shape than you or the sellers originally thought. Much like when you waive an appraisal, waiving inspections doesn't mean that you choose not to do one at all. In fact, unless you're super handy or well-versed in home inspections, I would highly recommend you consider doing one. In not so many words, when you waive inspections, you're saying, I'm not going to ask you to fix anything before I close on this home. However, I would like to know what I'm getting myself into. I would best describe this as being done for informational purposes only. For starters, if there is an oil tank in the ground, which is very common in parts of New Jersey and the country, you'll want to keep the line in the contract that allows you the option to break it in the event that you discover environmental hazards, such as leaky underground oil tanks, for example. You may also want to include things like mold, termites, and carpenter bee damage, which is oftentimes just clustered together as wood-boring insects, and proven indications of flooding or water accumulation. You'll probably want to keep the info in the contract that also details structural concerns. For example, if it's discovered during your inspection that the house is tilting to one side or sinking, or that there may be a massive crack, gap, or issue in the foundation, you'll want to ensure that you're not going to be the one footing that bill entirely, but more specifically, you don't want to be stuck taking the home or forfeiting your down payment in the process if you choose to walk away. I will never encourage you to waive an inspection. That decision is on you and you alone. Now, if you're an inspector yourself, or you're buying a flip property, or perhaps you know a ton of friends who do tons of work, perhaps your mind might be changed on that. But me personally, I will never say, hey, I think it's a very good idea if you waive your inspection. I will, however, warn you that what you see isn't always what you get on a home. And if the seller might be urging you to waive it or asking you to do so, that should hopefully be a red flag that they might know something we don't. I've had buyers waive inspections, but still conduct one, even on flip jobs or construction loans. But at that point, it becomes almost more of a to-do list for contractors than it is for something that the seller will offer credits or repairs on. I've also had buyers who refuse to waive inspections find issues that the sellers didn't agree to remediate, and the buyers weren't about ready to foot that bill either. A leaky roof, uneven floors, asbestos tile, and other underlying concerns were enough to break contract, return their down payment, but more importantly, spare them the financial burden of buying a home that was not where it needed to be for their investment. And that's the point here. Buying a home is often considered the biggest purchase of your life. Do you really want to own a sinking ship or money pit without the option of getting out of it? I would guess probably not. If you would like to get started on your home buying journey with a real estate agent who looks out for your best interest, shoot me an email, frank@hallmarkrealtors.com.